Today, this episode takes us to Freiburg im Breisgau, to KNF. At KNF, everything is about pumps, developing and producing them. But one thing is clear, manufacturing pumps alone is no longer enough. Evolving customer demands call for more, especially for data, and data drives here the real value. Yeah, but what kind of data exactly, and how does a long-established company like KNF embark on its IoT journey? And what does the technical implementation look like? And how are they using, for example, Azure IoT, Edge or Hub and other technologies here? And my favorite questions of all is, what are the actual use cases behind that? And we are exploring these questions today with Soroush Khandouzi. He is Cloud Solution Engineer from KNF, and Florian Stein. He is Domain Lead for Cloud Transformation and Data Infrastructure at b.telligent. And b.telligent here is the implementation partner for this project. And as always, take away valuable best practices for you. We are also talking about some failures and some best practices you could use for your own project. So that's pretty cool. And all details about this and other implementations are available at iotusecase.com and in the show notes. And with that, I would say, have fun. Let's jump into this episode. Hi, Florian. Hi, Soroush. It's nice to have you here. So, Florian, I will start with you. How are you today and where are you right now?
Yeah, I'm fine. Thanks for the invitation. I'm glad to be back in the IoT Use Case podcast.
Right.
I'm today in the office in Munich. So today in the morning, I had a nice drive with my bike to the office.
That's cool. It's awesome to have the possibility to do that, because then you're combining like sports and job in the morning.
Yeah.
That's
and when
nice.
you arrive, you're fresh. So
yeah, right. In the best case. By the way, I just looked that up. It was the episode 130 with Martin GmbH. It was, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Your customer. So when you're listening up now, please subscribe to the podcast and listen up to that podcast episode. It's pretty cool also. And yeah, nice to have you here. And Soroush, how are you today? And where are you right now?
Hello. Thank you for having me on the IoT Use Case podcast. I'm okay. Today, I stay at home, enjoying the sunny weather here in Freiburg, totally South Germany, and the good weather for weekend.
That's nice. So yeah, greetings to Freiburg, Bavaria, and whoever is listening up now. Maybe some colleagues, so also shout out to them. So yeah, it's nice to have you here, because you're a cloud solution engineer at KNF. Your background is kind of in AI, cloud architecture, and also data science, I guess. And I would say your mission is like turning manual processes into smart and cool, scalable solutions, helping your company, but also other ones in your past to bring data-driven innovation to life. And at KNF, you're leading like the transformation of pump testing. I guess we'll talk about this a bit. Do you have something what you find most exciting about new technologies and also cloud in manufacturing? And are there some maybe lessons you passed on to others start a similar journey now?
From my background, I studied as Bachelor Industrial Engineering. And that time I understand that digitalization is one of the things that I'm excited about and wants to understand how we can reduce the time person used in their daily life. And the journey started there. And since 2 years, I joined KNF. Before I was working in different companies. I was in Italy originally. I'm from Iran. So I have like going to immigration to the Europe and bring understanding of what I had in bachelor degree here and start work. The digitalization is what I'm looking at. So let me say that I'm always interested in doing things that reduce the time expansion of time investigation of the persons and give them opportunity to in better usage of their brain to innovative things, not just manual works.
Great. Yeah. And you used to work for Bosch also, right? Just
yes,
checked up your LinkedIn profile.
Bosch, Italy, 3-4 years.
Cool. Nice. Yeah, it's really nice to have you here also for the practical aspect, what you're doing. And maybe to sum it up a bit, like Florian, you're the domain lead for cloud transformation and data infrastructure at b.telligent. You also have experience of numbers of industrial projects. You're an expert in building scalable cloud architectures and also implementing IoT data platforms in every technology direction. What do you personally find most exciting about combining like cloud, IoT, data infrastructure? Where do you see the biggest impact here?
I see the biggest impact in helping our customers to tackle the data or IoT journey. So to not only develop with them one siloed use case, so to every time have the big strategy and the data platform in mind to see how can we help our customers or give them the tools to automate their processes and also to implement a platform where they can by their own then in the future add more and more use cases and take advantage of the value from the whole platform. So we are actually not only developing cloud solutions we are doing with different customers, we are helping them to integrate or to build edge solutions, so to integrate shop floor data to now, like we do it here with the use case with Soroush, we help them to build an edge application to integrate the data from the testing machines. But we will talk about it later in a bit more detail. But to help them, our customers, to tackle the whole journey.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's cool. And also to give some context, you're just mentioning like b.telligent. I know you as a technology agnostic IT service and consultancy expert firm specializing on IoT analytics and then data management and also integration services you're needing. But also you have your background kind of in business intelligence and data warehousing, right? So that's kind of where you're coming from. And now the IoT or IIoT area is more evolving. Could I say it like this?
Exactly. So we are coming from the business intelligence side and data warehousing. And when I started at b.telligent 5 years ago, I brought the whole IoT and manufacturing area with me and started to build it up with the whole team here at b.telligent. So it is really nice what we now in these 5 years already set up in b.telligent with all the different customers and success stories we had in the years. So that's where we're coming from. And now we are, I would say, more data platform consultancy. So not only business intelligence, it's more or less the whole chain.
So it's really something you and the team can be proud of. So greetings to everybody listening up, maybe from the b.telligent team. So it's nice. And what you're mentioning also is that your customer can do by their own, because I mean, you two are now experts in the IT area, I would say here, and you're helping also customers who understand kind of the data and then helping them to use their data architecture and edge computing components in that by their own, right? So you're kind of partnering a lot with your customers, as I see it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. This is also one of our slogans, so that we come to the customers to leave in the end.
Yeah, I see. That's a good one. All right. But maybe to you too. So why are you sitting here together and how does this partnership between the companies involved? Like, can you talk about that a bit?
Yeah, I can describe it that before this project, our company KNF was working with b.telligent over the BI solution in one of other project, and we have like good result with b.telligent helping us a lot in that project. That time we started proof of concept of this LTM project, abbreviated lifetime monitoring. And then when we decided to go with MVP creation, we contacted with Florian and the team, and we understand that could help us a lot during this project, and it's their expertise about it and can enhance our engineer expertise about this lifetime monitoring and together bring some digitalization to KNF.
Okay. And maybe to talk a bit about KNF, because I'm not sure if everybody knows you. I mean, you're a big player, but maybe to give some context information here.
Yeah.
So you're a globally active, I guess, also family-owned company in Germany, and you're specialized about developing, designing, producing pumps, right?
Right now, the KNF holding is in Switzerland, so we are a Swiss-based company right now, but it started here in Freiburg like 9 years ago with the family. As you said, we are active in all industries, but because we name ourselves hidden champions, so nobody knows about us directly, but they could see our pumps in backbone of all the businesses. We are producing pumps from the deep in the ocean, in submarines, to the over our head in ISS, International Space Station, so you can find our product there. Because of that, like we name ourselves Hidden Champion because we are like helping the other industries. And as our slogans as KNF, we are saying together, we innovate together, we make the world in flow as our pump help it.
Okay, that's cool. Can you explain a bit about your customers? Because you have different scenarios where your pumps are in the field right now. So do you have some specific customer segments here, or is that totally wide about all industries?
All industries we are included, like medical industry, laboratories, universities, everywhere, like in the funnel of ships. If you want to gas reduction there, you can use our product. And our specific things that we have as KNF as core businesses, we are customizing the pumps. So we sit with our customers, find their needs and customize what they want as like final product from our pumps, and we bring it to them. Because of that, we are like actually wherever you need gas and liquid pumps, they can contact us and find a way to provide them our products.
Okay. And when we are talking about this project, I will call it like an IIoT project. So what are the main objectives of this project here? Can you, or maybe you both, explain a bit what that is about?
So I should like one step behind that what it is LTM for us. As I said, it is stand for lifetime monitoring. So we are monitoring our pumps through the lifetime to understand what happened to the pump during these 4, 5, sometimes 8, 9 years of working. So we are creating the environment that also our customer had. And during this time, we observe what happened to the component. Previously, before this IoT use case comes, we are collecting the data daily basis, sometimes weekly basis, depend on the project, depend on the need. With the one technician goes there and collect the data. And as we are a worldwide company and we have 4 different production locations, 2 in Switzerland, 1 here in Germany, and 1 in USA. So our data was not like unique in one database or one source that we can rely on. Each company rely on their own data. This project comes with this kind of criticality and requirement that we looking for the future, we need to collect the data, so transfer the data from one location to another for new project and so on.
Okay. And when you talk about observing the components, do you have one example? What components are these and what kind of, maybe also the data you're interested in?
Exactly what we are looking is like we have membranes pump, diaphragm pumps. So these membranes, diaphragm sometimes is like to have failure during this monitoring time, but it is the result. So when we reach the point that the pump is dead, we open the pump and we see, okay, this component had failure before, but we don't understand in which way or in which how. Then this project comes like many years ago with manual collecting the data from the current pressure or humidity of the environment, temperature. So all the data we are writing down.
Like as in an Excel sheet or?
Sometimes Excel, sometimes it was like SQL, but manually was writing down and the hours. So this was before this digitalization project. And it helped us to understand our lifetime of the pumps and why the failure comes, or which component maybe we change in the new devices give us more failures in new production. So
I see. Okay. And when we talk about the data, is it high frequent data we're talking about, or is it like one data point in an hour or something?
Today, we are collecting in normal time, we are collecting around 100 hertz data. So per second is 100 data. And also we develop some we call it burst mode, that we keep pump for 10 minutes a day in 10K hertz data and collect it in the high frequent one to understand the noise and so on about the data.
About this burst mode, I will ask about this in a second. Maybe to add one question, as you're a global company, like with multiple sites, so is it like that you're having right now fragmented systems across different locations then? Or how should I imagine your system infrastructure kind of?
So since invention or finding internet, our company goes through the way that we are more and more integrated together. So this is one of the last projects that make us more integrated together. Like I said, for previous BI project that we had with b.telligent, also we follow this way. So our goal is be more integrated. I cannot say how percentage yet now is our for production company, because we are having more than 20 different branches in all around the world, but 4 of them are production and the others is like sales center for us.
I see. And Florian, maybe a question for you. So as you have seen so many of these different projects here, so how is that project differentiation from other project, especially when we talk about fragmented systems across different locations? So is it like a typical setup or?
Most of it is a typical setup, or at least are typical challenges which other companies also have. So, for example, they have siloed systems on the different locations and they want to bring the data together or to compare the production or compare the testing data and so on. So this is something which we see day to day with other companies as well, that they need to bring the data or centralize the data to compare it between the different production lines. Which was a bit special within this project was, I think, the technical setup or the devices we needed to connect, and also the, as Soroush already mentioned, the burst mode. This was really something special. And
what is this burst mode? Sorry, I have to ask now. What is that about?
I can maybe try to explain it a bit, and then Soroush can add something.
Yeah.
But it's more or less, where we added within our IoT application. So we have also a web application where the different technicians work with. There, they can also schedule some high, or where we have a high resolution of the data between a distinct time. So this is something where they can schedule to have once a day, like the data, and really where they can really look a little bit deeper in the data points, because they will be collected faster.
I see. So like managing the high frequency data, something like that?
What I can add, as the name is mentioned, we are making the high frequency of turning around like 10,000 for this pump till it bursts. So for us, sometimes it is good to catch this burst of the component during this test, but it is not the aim. Just we are understanding that the border of our pumps, where it is, like, so we can understand, okay, this pump is working 10 minutes for the higher value of turning points that we want.
Okay, I see. I just want to understand a bit more about the process before this project started. So how was this pump testing typically be done, and why is it kind of this time consuming, as you're mentioning in the beginning? So what is that about?
Before was, as I mentioned, also now we have the rooms to put our pumps to collect the data for us. And we have started like one pump doing it in the normal life, that what it is doing. And we are starting to collecting the data like temperature, humidity, current, pressure, flow, and so on from this. We let it go. But before was that one operator, technician, or our engineer should go to these rooms and collect the data and read the values of what we want from each pump. And to be honest, how much time consuming it is, like if I mention that right now we are working with more than 1,500 pumps.
Wow, yeah.
Right now.
That's a lot.
So imagine one person should do it daily basis, read the current flow, pressure and humidity, temperature, also pressure in, pressure out. So there is too many data. And previously, so we weren't test this much pumps. Nowadays with this project, we can do like more than 1,500 pumps testing daily.
Nice. And also, as we are talking now about kind of the business case behind that, but I mean, in the end, it's also an investment in technology, and some companies have to make sure that kind of the return on invest is there, but it's not that easy to answer. But do you have some more insights about like the typical lose and time and resources beside what you're mentioning now, what you and maybe other companies out there are losing right now? Maintenance time is one of that, right?
The things that we were losing was that we didn't understand exactly when the pump failed, for example.
I see. And why?
Yeah, and why. Right now, it helps us in these two things. So we cannot evaluate return on investment, but we can say that it is like helping us a lot in the way like providing the data to our testing engineers and developing engineers with the data accurately, like near real time. It's less than I think 1 second or millisecond data transfer to our visualization on the cloud. And also new opportunities comes to us. The most buzzword right now is everybody is using it's AI, but we are really using this data for our development in AI, like predictive maintenance and so on.
Yeah, okay. So the one aspect is more in the business side about, or maybe the process side, it's about the manual testing and documentation stuff, I would say, where somebody has 1 or 2 hours daily for 1,000 pumps. I mean, it's a lot of time. And then on the other hand, I could imagine that it's kind of also a missed opportunity, for example, for predictive maintenance or smart services in the future, maybe now. I don't know how far you are with that right now, but I could imagine when you have this data, it's also great to do more consultancy for your customers. So that's more maybe on the process side. Could I say it like this?
Yes, exactly. And it is like parallel to our production. So it is pushing us and giving us like faster decision, faster understanding of new developed product with these solutions.
Okay. And the other thing would then be more the technology side. So there would be the siloed systems across location, and also these high frequency data bottlenecks you were talking about, and the engineering team you're mentioning also, where the product development kind of delays or something like that. So this is more on the technical side then, right? From the business case.
Yes, exactly. Like we can use our understanding of our engineers in USA, also in Germany. So they help us to say, okay, we found this alert for this kind of pumps, put it on your data or put it on your testing. So before, when it was fragmented, so it was not in unique database collected together. So they had to also describe what happened, what did they test, and what was the result, then mentioned what was the reasons and so on. So right now we have like a unique language to talk.
I see. Yeah. And Florian, when you hear this, I mean, that should sound familiar for you, right? Because that's kind of the business case for all of these projects, kind of that.
Yeah, almost. I would also mention that, I mean, there were many manual processes where the engineers, technicians need to go to the room and, for example, also turn the pump on, turn the pump off, and so on, and which we right now also moved to the application, so they can do it during their daily business, so they don't need to leave their workplace and go to the room where the pumps are. They can all do it from their daily business. So this is also something where I would say they have a huge advantage.
I see. Yeah. And also maybe when they're underwater, I can imagine how much that costs when you want to maintain a pump underwater somewhere. You need a whole team like diving. Yeah, just thinking about that. Okay, that's cool. So, and then Soroush, you decided to work with Florian and the team. So what was important from your side of you, where you say, hey, okay, b.telligent, they are the one? Do you have something what was important from your side?
When I joined, actually, the collaboration was started. But what I found out at the beginning months of the project was that like Florian and the team had the similar project. At least just what we had like customized the collecting data. We are calling it DAC, data acquisition devices, that it is special for us. We are using NI and MCCs. This part was special about this project, but the rest I see that, okay, they had this experience and like develop in other companies and they know where the issues may come from and avoid it. And that was like good collaboration that I understand. But starting, I wasn't here. Maybe Florian can describe it more from his point of view.
I mean, it was from the beginning, from the first call I had with your boss, Soroush, it was like we were on one level with our thoughts. And also it was really sympathical that when we talked. And I think this is the huge difference on IoT projects and the other business intelligence projects, that the IoT thing is mostly something where they have their smart solutions at home. They have their electrical car or something like this. So you talk on a different level. And then it was like really nice to get to know them. And I think, it was from the beginning, we proved really quickly in a proof of concept that what we tried to do, that it worked. And then we decided that we not only want to implement the use case itself, so we also want to build the foundation to build on top different other use cases for the future. So this was also something really important. And we started with that. And then when Soroush joined, it was really nice. It was like we talked the first time and he was excited to join the project. And it was like, okay, we had the whole onboarding and so on. But right now we have our weeklies and we talk about the current steps. We talk about other use cases they want to implement. And there I really see that it is not necessary that we as a consultancy are really doing everything for the other companies. It is more that we enable them and help them to build solutions by their own.
Yes, okay. Florian, can you explain a bit, like what is right now the solution for KNF here? So what did you build? What was kind of pre-built? What kind of technologies you're using? Can you talk a bit about that? And then I will ask some 2 or 3 community questions about that.
Sure. So what was special, we started to build the complete cloud foundation. So the whole automation process. On the one hand, to roll out the cloud infrastructure we need for this use case and also for different other use cases.
That's what you call cloud foundation. So it's like the stack, the technology infrastructure you're needing. Yeah,
exactly. It's developed by Terraform, where we can roll it out automatically with deployment pipelines and so on. And also to set up the framework or the GitOps process around the Azure IoT stack to set up or roll out Azure IoT Edge applications to the Edge environment. So where closer to the pumps, where we run the DAC applications. This is something which is really at the pump or close to the pump. And then we have the Edge environment where we then collect the data from and bring it to the cloud, and also to have some storage or buffering if the internet connection is not there and so on.
Okay, so how do you connect brownfield environments with this modern cloud infrastructure? So are you using, MQTT, OPC-UA protocols to connect this different devices, or how do you do that?
This is within this use case for the LTM, it's special because there we have the DAC controllers, as Soroush already mentioned. And there we have set up a software library with Python where we connected or where we use the Azure IoT SDKs to bring the data over the edge to the IoT hub. So this is something different for this use case. For other things where Soroush already started, they also use the MQTT broker to bring data into Azure and then store it there in the storage. So here it was like build application with the MCC and AI boards stack to then send the data with the Azure IoT SDK to the IoT hub, and then stored like in the time series database from Azure, the Azure Data Explorer, and then to visualize it with Grafana to have the engineers that they see the data and can deep dive into the data.
Okay, that's cool. So I guess it's also a bit customer or partner individual. When you're listening up right now and you say, okay, I have a similar project, not the same, but I want to talk a bit about best practice sharing here. So maybe Florian and Soroush, I will put your LinkedIn profiles and contact data in the show notes. So please feel free to contact them and talk about your specific needs, or even though your use case, what you're developing right now. So but it's nice to know that you're connecting all of these different devices. And we talked about these failures and in which way they're happening. So how are you solving this problem technology-wise? So how do you do that?
What are we doing? I mean, for us, it was important to get the data within real time, or as Soroush already mentioned, in hundreds of hearts, and also for sometimes in even more, to see or to bring it into the time series database and to enable the engineers to evaluate the data with Grafana. So there they have their dashboards where they can see the different sensors they have. They can see if there are some limits are reached and so on. So there they can really deep dive into it. This solution in the end also enables for the future to have these findings. So the engineers are looking into the board. They are marking some data points, which are some anomalies or something like this, and to store this data as well, and to have in the end, in the future, maybe also for different lifetime testings, final report where we can see during the whole lifetime process where they found some suspicious data points, where they marked their comments and so on. So to automate this whole process and to then use this in the future as well for the data science AI, as Soroush already mentioned.
Okay. And Soroush, you want to add something from the practice, how you're working with that? Or is your team working with that more?
As I mentioned, like b.telligent team, Florian and his team, I said they know what may comes. For example, we use the alerting system in the cloud. So we implement before we put it on production that alert the persons that wants to know where the failure comes. So, for example, when this current goes up or down, as Florian mentioned, over these boards that we understand now the pump's going to fail, it sends a failure alert that, okay, this pump is over this borderline. So can the operator, technician, or engineer goes to this room and observe the pump better to understand before the failure what happened to this one. So this is one of the example I said. They know and we implement it, what failures may come and how we can resolve it, or be prepared.
Yeah, be prepared for all failures that might occur.
Yeah. It's also, I think, what we shouldn't forget is that in the process before, it was like, okay, there were maybe failures which are not collected or the technicians were not able to see. And now they know when there's a failure and they can really go into the room and see, okay, maybe there's something with the pump wrong or something like that. They can inspect it because they know based on the data, okay, there is now something wrong with the pump.
Right. Yeah, that's a great conclusion also, yeah. And were there any unexpected results or benefits that emerged from this project where you say, hey, we haven't thought about that, or this is something, wow, that was a great best practice. Do you have something like that to share with the community?
One of them was that we found we can not easily but smoothly connect our internal physical devices to the cloud and visualize it in real time. So it brings the new project definition for us, production line connectivity, or like testing connectivity for us, that we send the data to the cloud, visualize it. Right now, there is a TV at the wall of our rooms, shows what pumps inside and what is the current values of the data that we are collecting. So it also happens for production for us. One of them, AI, as I mentioned, come to our mind. We know predictive maintenance comes with the data, but also classification comes to our mind, that we can classify the errors, failures, that with which kind of changing data, what kind of failure may comes.
Mm-hmm.
I think also what we saw right now, or what I see in every project we have, if you have an IoT project, you mostly have really a lot of devices or a lot of data points you integrate into the cloud. And there it is really important to review your application also on the financial side. So you need to maybe readjust some settings to keep costs low and so on. So an IoT solution is nothing which you implement and let it run the whole lifetime. It's more that you need to check with increasing data points, you can improve something on the cost side as well in the cloud.
Mm-hmm. That's cool. Thanks that you'll be part of this podcast today. I appreciate a lot of these practical aspects in here. And I would love to learn more about how the project is going. Maybe we'll do an update in a year or something. I don't know. Thanks from my side. And I will give the last words to you to close the session. You could add some things or say thank you, whatever. And from my side, so thanks a lot for this project. And hear from you soon, I would say.
Yeah, thank you for the invitation. It was like the last time. It was really, really nice to talk about the use case, to share our findings with the whole audience, and to bring more IoT use cases into the different companies.
Also from my side, thanks for having this podcast with you. It was interesting for me to have talked with you and describe our successful project. And just one last maybe suggestion to your audience is that when you start MVP, think about it in big picture. Do not say that just this project, do it and then scale it up. At the beginning, you should think about the whole process and what you want at a scale. And thank you for having me in your podcast.
So that was a great last word. Thank you and have a great rest of the week. Bye-bye.
Bye.